Craig, what did you think of that performance? It was like finals-like intensity and a good side in the Dogs. How did you guys go?
Yeah, I was real happy with our first half. I thought we played real well the first half. Played a real controlled game and sort of stuck to what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. So I thought our second half was, I don't know, it lacked discipline. We give away a couple of penalties, rubbing blokes on the head and, hitting them after they'd passed the ball like that. That's, you're not going to get away with that. And if you do too much of that in the finals. So, like I say, I was a bit disappointed with our second half, with our lack of discipline. And it looks like, just at the start of it, it looked like we were a little bit complacent. And then, we know the Bulldogs are a good side, and, they're in the top four, and, they've been leading the competition for probably most of the year, but, like I say, I was really happy with our first half, but, not so happy with our second half.
Did the penalty for the patting on the head, the one you're referencing, the Grant Anderson one, was that a bit too harsh? Just, it was going to be your ball and then it completely changes the momentum. They score off the back of it just for a tap on the head.
Oh, well, you think it is, but it's, that's a rule now, or interpretation of a rule, or whatever they like to call it. So at the end of the day, it's it does seem a bit harsh, but at the end of the day, we know that's what's come and it happened, and as you say, it sort of turned the game. So we need to learn to be better than that.
What about some of your defensive efforts? Like Nick Meaney was unbelievable defensively, but Xavier Coates saving that try as well.
Yeah, I like when you have a look at, they had a couple of disallowed tries, and we, as you said, we had a couple of great try saves, and and I thought, both them guys, like X has been coming up with those plays all year, like ones that really matter, and Nick come up with a couple of really good plays today as well, defensively and with the ball. So, but having said that, I think he's a really underrated player, Nick Mooney, and probably playing against his old team this afternoon. He was ready to play, and like I say, we were probably lucky he was out there.
So the result pretty much all wraps up a top two spot if you don't have cataclysmic losses in the next couple of weeks. So how do you now look at the next 2 weeks about how you might approach it with guys coming into the finals? You've had a long run of games.
Yeah, as you said, we'd have to lose our 2 games and probably get beat by a fair bit to get out of that top 2 position. So, we'll have a bit of a sit down and chat about it. Hopefully we'll get a chance to rest some players. Some players, feel that they'd like a rest, and then there's others that don't. And sometimes if we're strong on, a rest to do you good, well, we'll sort of force that. So that's something we'll work out over the next 2 weeks and take it from there.
Jerome Hughes, just chatting to him on the sideline, he said he's a chance for round 27. Would you like to see him play before finals if he was fit?
Yeah, I don't think he needs to play as far as combinations and things like that, but just I suppose for his confidence, and having confidence in the shoulder, and just come back and playing. I think I'd hate for him to go in into a final with a bit of doubt. So if we can take that doubt out of it by playing him in our last round, well, we'll look to do that as long as he's, the physios, the medical people think he's, 100%, right to play.
Any news on Tui's condition?
I seen just in the dressing room there, he seemed fine. He was up singing the song, but he's a pretty tough unit Tui, so it must have been, reasonably bad. The head knock, so he probably won't be playing next week. So, but like I said, he's up and about, so he seems to be okay.
I see Trent Liero clocked something like 48 tackles. It was another big game from him. He's a bit of a quiet achiever, he seems. Doesn't get a lot of... I mean, I know he played Origin, but...
Yeah. No, he has. He's probably been doing that nearly all year. I wouldn't say his tackle count's always up that high, but what he, with his work rate, what he, he might not do in defence, he'll do in attack. He'll have 22 or 3 runs. So yeah, he's a very, very valuable member of the team, and for a young bloke, he's really consistent as well. And as you said, he got rewarded this year by playing Origin, and we think he's, there's good things ahead for Trent.
With Harry, Craig, the shoulder charge, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, probably obviously wasn't what we wanted. I'm not quite sure, in my opinion. I'm not quite sure it deserved a sin bin. Certainly a penalty or whatever, but I thought a sin bin was harsh. But again, that's just my opinion.
Conceding an average of 12 points a game here at Amy Park, how much does it mean to you to already have 2 home finals locked up?
Yeah, well, as I said, we're going to have to get beaten pretty well to drop out of that top 2. So, I think all the teams in the competition, would prefer playing at home than playing, away. So, and obviously, with finals, that's even, you see that as more important. So, if we can hang on to that second spot, well, we'd be really happy with that and getting that, the first week of the finals at home.
Craig, what about Nelson? What do you want to see from Nelson? And obviously, I know Tui got hurt and won't be available. So, is Nelson next man up?
Yeah, we had a couple of guys in doubt for the day. That's why Nelson, come into the squad, and he was 18th man. We'll just see. Hopefully, we might be able to get him some time. But having said that, he has missed a fair bit of time, and we just want him sort of playing footy. So if he doesn't make it the next couple of weeks, well, he'll still be playing in Queensland. He's obviously a very experienced player, so he's played in plenty of games. So, but like I say, we'll just see what happens during the week and then go from there.
Ray, you just seems like a lot of line ball decisions have been going against Harry the last couple of months. Is there a reason behind that?
Say again?
There's just been a few line ball decisions, that seem to be going against Harry, from the referees. Is there a reason why these little things are happening?
I think you're asking the wrong person there. Need to ask the referees, probably. Yeah.
Is he judged a little bit more harsher?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them that.
Craig, how did you assess the game of Wishart tonight? Once again, you give him a role. He seems to be able to do it week after week. He's just been, once again, terrific.
Yeah, I thought he was great. There was a bit of thought within the club. We'd probably start Pez, with his kicking game and whatever. But I was really keen, for Wish. He's never let us down in any position he's played, and I just thought, he was always going to be a target for kick out. He's a big man and he picks on the threes in, as you would, But I thought Wish done a really good job there. I thought he done a great job with the ball. Again, we probably didn't have. His strength's probably not his organising. It's the same with Munster as well. But they seem to get it right, pretty much right tonight. And so, like I say, whatever you dish up to Wish, he just seems to be able to handle it. And he's been doing that all year, and he certainly, he come up again with it tonight.
Some areas of improvement going forward. They seem to trouble you with their line speed and ability to put pressure underneath you, particularly in that second half. Is that an area that you're going to really focus in on over the next couple of weeks to really, knowing that you're going to come up against them again?
Oh yeah, again, we knew before we go in this game, that their line speed and their intensity in their defence, moving in defence, but also in the contact. I thought, ours, really matched them in the first half tonight, but I thought, we certainly fell away from that line speed and just didn't, we just didn't look urgent enough to be going at them. So that'll be something that certainly we'll be looking at. But we'll look at getting better at that over the next couple of weeks and go from there.
Craig, how big was it for the club to get 25,000 people tonight when you had a big AFL game across the road?
Yeah, like I say, it's probably not my area, the crowd, but it's great to see, getting a big crowd like that here. Like I say, it's the one thing about the Melbourne crowd. As long as I've been here, and I've been here a while, they're always been vocal and very loyal. We just haven't seen the numbers like we have this year, so so that's great. So looks like Melbourne's starting to like their rugby league a little bit, and hopefully when they do come along, we can make it a good day for them.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.